Hello, here from the Singleton Distillery, where timeless tradition dance in every drop of whiskey. Today, we enter a world where each sip tells a story of heritage, craftsmanship, and the vibrant spirit of Singleton. So come, let's explore these delightful tales together.
Embark on a spirited journey through time and tradition, where golden barley transform into liquid gold. Whiskey. From the verdant fields to the mastery within aged oak casks, we explore the soulful alchemy of distillation across iconic distilleries. Join us as we unravel the tales and taste of a legacy, meticulously crafted, drop by precious drop. This is Whiskey Stories.
Originally in 1838, Thomas Mackenzie of the Clan Mackenzie was a barley farmer at the time. He really established the distillery here, which was one of 9 in Muirvord at the time. From there it's progressed, obviously gotten a lot bigger and become a part of that Diageo group, and the Singleton no longer covers just here but also 2 other distilleries. We put the 3 distilleries together under that Singleton name to kind of create a worldwide known brand for different markets around the world.
So Rowan, can you please take us through the production here at Singleton?
When we get the barley from the farmers, when it comes into the maltings, it comes in nice and dry, and what we need to initially do is get the moisture back in there so it can start to regrow and produce the starch within the seed. Now in the drums we can control the environment and basically trick the barley into thinking spring has arrived. So after 4 days in the drums, we call it green malt because it's fresh and ready to grow. We dry that out, pretty much what looks like a big oven, or what we call here a kiln. Once we've got our dry malt, that goes out to the mill. In the mill we grind it down into roughly 3 parts, or what we call collectively grist. The grist will then go into a mash tun and heat it up. As we heat that up, amylase will break down those starches into sugars, so that when we drain that water out the bottom after about 6.5 hours, you're left with basically a sugar water, or what we call here wort. The wort will then go through a slight cooling period and into our washbacks, where we're going to add in that yeast, and that will feast away on all those sugars, helping convert it into our alcohols. Now typically a condenser would be run cold, but here we're one of the few distilleries that run our condensers hot, keeping the spirit in a spirit form slightly longer. We do that to keep it in contact with copper, and that whole system is made out of copper, the still, the swan neck and the condenser. The longer we can keep that spirit in contact with the copper, the lighter, fresher and more impurities it will draw out. Now of course, as that evaporates, the strongest alcohol needs less temperature, so it's going to go first. So down to timing and a lot of sensors on the machines, we're going to cut that into 3 parts when it comes out of the second distillation: the head, the heart and the tail. Now it's the heart we're really after. That's what we call our new make spirit.
Yeah, that's a perfect cut.
The perfect cut, exactly. And that's what's going to go into our casks and mature its way into our whiskey.
You have been refining the taste profile towards the different markets and just assembled it under one single brand.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've gone with the tastes from the people in those markets. In Southeast Asia, typically they're a bigger fan of the richer flavors, a bit more complex, more intense things, often relating towards more the European cask finishes, the sherries, the wines, things like that. In Europe, they tend to prefer a fresher flavor, a bit lighter, a bit, say, nuttier, more on the fresh fruits, the apples, pears, that kind of thing. So here we have 16-year-old Glenord whiskey with that mezcal cask finish. So as I'm sure you can smell on the nose of that, it's quite fresh, quite grassy. It has a lovely fresh aroma to it. For if you are starting out in whiskey and you're not sure where to go yet, you've got a few choices all nice, easy to drink, smooth whiskies. We always recommend trying one from each of the distilleries, often starting with the 12-year-old from each, part of our core range there, as it gives you a very good indication as to what flavours are going to which markets.
But what about the experienced whiskey lovers who wants to seek out the real Singleton experience?
So within our Singleton ranges, of course, we've got the core range, but we've also got those exclusive releases, usually in the cask strength region, so a little bit stronger, a bit more complex often, and a lot more going on. Yeah, the oldest expression from here at Glenord within the Singleton would be the Glenord 40, really as an impressive piece. So this one here is the Glenord Celebratory that we've been trying. Beautiful flavours involved, not just on the nosing, but when you go to taste. It, for me personally, makes me think of Christmas time, being with family, a lot of joy and good times ahead.
That's just beautiful.
Cheers.
Cheers.
A lot smoother than you'd expect from a cask strength as well.
Absolutely, but that's quite typical for Singleton as well.
Yes,
isn't
we
it?
are known for our smoothness here.
Absolutely. Wow, that's just a beautiful trend. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you for coming.